Hi guys. I hope you had the best weekends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on when or where you're watching this. And I'm not gonna promise not to hold y'all too long, but I don't want to hold y'all too long. It's finally over. It's finally over. The torture of the unnecessary 3-part reunion of Love and Marriage Huntsville is over. I just, there's so much things that are going on outside of this show that you can talk about other than these unnecessary 3 parts and the not surprise guest that came on the platform. I don't know. Let's just get into it. So the third messiest man on the stage, Marcel Holt, he made his joke to Ken. Ken did not find it funny. No one found it funny. Trisha was, I don't know if it was a nervous laugh. It probably was. And she's like, what? What are you talking about? Anyway, quiet as kept. I don't believe they didn't do nothing. It's not my truth to prove. She don't got to prove nothing to me. If they say they ain't do nothing, they ain't do nothing. Who cares? Melody trying to check Martell and just gas him up, and her like whispering to Tisha saying, then I gas him up, look, I gassed him up. I mean, he's proven her point. He got so much energy for women, especially when they trying to check him and tell him where he is at fault and where he needs to change. He get real gassed up and he get real puff up in his chest. And then he's like, well, I went after Marcel and Maurice, but them is the only 2 people that you could go after because you know them. And they not going to give you no time of day. And I don't know what Maurice has, but even if you go after him, he going to come back to you and apologize and give you a speech. I don't know what that relationship is. It's weird. And then Chris Fletcher, did y'all see his daughter on YouTube? I ain't watching it yet. I'm savoring it. I know it's going to talk some mess about Nell. Anyway, so and then all of that, then he get booked with Nell, just proving Mel's point about him always have the same energy for, he's not being disrespectful. He not being nice neither. So whatever. Anyway. That man is a see you next Tuesday, and nobody can ever make me like him. I hope that he finds a career path that he can make some money and be successful, because we all know who was making everything successful, and it just proves how she's thriving. Good for you, Melody. Side note, short side note, sidebar. Even though that portion was cut out of the reunion and the synopsis and description was edited as well after the fact, right? The way that Mel and Tisha was speaking to each other, I wonder if this whole reunion was just chopped and screwed. Because it don't make no sense. Because if I was Mel and I found out that Tisha told Destiny about what happened 7 years ago, and to be honest with you, I think that she was just like, yeah, I'll do it. I don't think that they would have done it. She would have done it in the limousine. I don't know. The way that man was acting, he was like, you wasn't doing it for me, so I went to do it for somebody else. I don't think that Melody would have been like, unless, you know, when women think that they try to save something, they do the things that they don't do to try to save it. Maybe. I don't know. But going back to the point of if Tisha said that to get back at Martell, that had really nothing to do with Martell. That had everything to do with Melody, because Melody would have been the one committing the act, and that's why Destiny brought it up, so she could like stick it to Melody, which was very a lame thing to do because she was married to that man, and if she wanted to do it, she could have did it, and then there was 4 other adults in there that could have said, nah, let me out the limousine, or nah, y'all not doing this, and we're not partaking in it. Like, you wasn't even there, Destiny, so shut up. Anyways, Uh, so Messy Carlos, the first messy man on the actual stage, he goes to Ken and asks Ken questions about, do you trust Tish? Do you trust your woman? Blah, 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 blah. Then they talked about the fight. And I think most men that are insecure but secured financially will always throw their money in your face. Because I don't think that Tisha, what is this girl? Anyway, Trisha. Yeah, Trisha. I don't think Trisha don't make no money, but he makes more than her, and that's fine. I just feel like when they have fights like that, their fights are so dirty because it seems as though she be going low down as well. That's what he said in that chair. But it also seems the fact that he likes to throw things in people's face, and here comes Marques. Now, don't no man keep you away from your child. If Ken is insecure, Marques is way more insecure. He is a narcissist, which he does not really know the definition of a narcissist. Because Trisha ain't a narcissist. Maybe Ken could be one, but he really has to just own up to the things that he did to his kids. His kids don't really mess with him like that. If his mother's boyfriend has to give him a card to go see his dad on his birthday, come on now. I just feel like Ken feels like his wallet makes him stand higher than Marques, and that gets in the way of the things that he is really saying that is true. Don't nobody keep you from your kids. We help you come and see your kids. And all he doing is standing up and saying, you'll never be a father. You'll never be their father. He's not their father. You're their father biologically. But you having a kid with a woman don't make you a father. You have not done anything. You have not emotionally supported them. You call them on the phone and talk about what we don't know. So, I mean, that segment with Marques, and I fast forward when he went to go talk to Melody because I'm not with it. After all of that, even before I fast forward, after all of that, Carlos stands up. He's trying to calm Marques down because he stood up like he was about to do something to somebody. Like, sir, you are fighting a battle within and you're taking it out on Trisha and Ken. However their relationship started, if she cheated on you, she cheated on you. Like, you left. So let it go. You left the state. You didn't even go down the street. No contact with nobody for a while. And then all of a sudden, you mad because he in the house with your kids. Like, it don't. 2 and 2 is 4, not 22. I'm going to need you. So Carlos is just, we're trying to hear you out. We're trying to let you say your piece. And then he go and sit down and then he said, well, I heard you got a crush on Melody. Like, what? I was like, those two continents don't meet. It doesn't make any logical sense that you try to be so fake deep and then go sit down and be shallow. I don't know. Melody should have left a long time ago. That's all I gotta say. And so now to talk about the girls trip. We don't forgot about the girls trip, y'all. The girls trip ended the first part of the season. They were still in St. Thomas. They were still at my home for 3 months when the season continued on. We forgot all about them being in St. Thomas. So we're not going to talk about how clingy Destiny was. And she was like, oh, I don't like the narrative of how y'all was saying that I was being clingy. They said it. Everybody said it in their confessionals. Even Shanita. Like, everybody was like, and sidebar, Shanita was right. Tisha was the ops. Period. So she was clingy. Everywhere Mel go, you was there trying to talk to her and whisper to her. And you're just like, oh, you were sending me text messages telling me what to say. Girl, Melody is a producer. So just in case your whispers come up, she gonna tell you how to act. If y'all don't like Melody, just say that. Like, just say you don't like her. It's fine. She will be fine. it seems like she's a loner anyway. And I would have never really, like, I understand Melody in a way because of Martell. That's the reason why she treated the Scotts like that. Because how are you going to take this man's side when you know what he did to me? And then when she's like, I'm not fooling with him, I'm not doing this no more, y'all are like, oh, poor Martell. He can't get his builder's license. Let me help the man because it must hurt to see your ex-wife thrive. Like, stuff like that is wild. I'm not saying put the man out to pasture, but y'all knew about the video. It was going around and y'all ain't saying nothing to her. And then everybody want to be up in arms talking about Melody saying that she not going to tell Kimmi about blah, blah, blah. Somebody was cheating. They didn't tell her. Listen, the way that this show started, the Melody's vision was not this. She got swept up in the whirlwind of fame. And I think that it did go to her head a little bit. But I feel like, kind of like in a Mariah Hug type way, I'm the reason that all of y'all are here. I don't know if Melody threw that in their face. She probably did. She probably did throw it in their face. Like, I'm the reason all of y'all here. Y'all need to bow down. But then when blank got real, they were nowhere to be found. So they were really never really friends. Not like, I don't know. Anyway, back to this girls trip. Everybody said that they had a good time. Kimmi said she was upset with the room because she felt like she got stuck in the crossfire of, you know, Letitia and Destiny. And she thought it was disrespectful because I used to film in her backyard for free. But you getting paid now. Melody don't pay you. Melody's name is not on the paycheck. Melody's name is not on the paycheck. Melody did what she had to do. You agreed. And then you stayed. So if you didn't want to be a part of reality TV, you could have left a long time ago. Your husband had more tears on a screen about a woman that he knew by proxy of his sister-in-law than he did when you told him that you had cancer. I don't know. Maybe it was edited. It's an edited show. We don't know. Maybe he didn't want to cry on TV. Maybe he would have been boo-hoo crying. We don't know. But I've never seen Maurice have so much empathy and emotions about anything else other than that Kiki tribute at the end of the reunion. The girls trip. Lo and behold, Stormi come out after all of that. So yeah, sorry. Let me rewind again. So they talk about the girls trip and everybody have fun, blah, 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 right? Okay, so Kimmi said she got caught in the crosshairs. She said it was disrespectful. Tisha repeated her same thing she said in St. Thomas. She said, the room showed me how you felt about me. It did. Somebody in somebody's comments said that the producers assigned the rooms. That could be true, but Melody is a producer, and I think she assigned them rooms the way she wanted to assign them rooms. Now we're gonna talk about Nell for only a tight minute. Nell, I'm gonna need you to come off of this mentor hill that you are on. I don't like your outfit. I don't like that you put that man in that suit. Y'all look like 2005 prom. It's horrible. I don't like it. And yes, I'm saying it with my hair needs to be done and a scarf on. So I like it. And it looked very, no. So Nell is on this. I didn't have a really good time. Girl, Nell, you was half drunk the whole time you was there, babe. So would you even remember if you had fun or not? She was like, it was a lot. It was a lot going on. It was a lot with all these women. It's just a lot. Okay, now, okay. Yeah, you're going to talk about was a mentor towards, you and Martell because, blah, blah, blah. Girl, they not together. So your mentoring didn't work. So why you friggin' promoting yourself of a failed attempt to mentor somebody? And then I appreciate, though rude, because Kimmi was talking, Well, Kimmi and Melody were kind of talking, and she was like, you know what, Miss Now? I want to tell you that I appreciate you. I want to tell you that, when I said those three things, that I apologize to you when you was at, your dress fitting. I'm going to apologize to you now, and I'm going to tell you that I appreciate you. And, Nell said something else, and then Melody rolled down the chair, and that part was funny. But, I mean, like, it was just... Listen, the girls' trip was nice. The room was nice. They was doing activities in the house. All you doing is sleeping. Now, a grown woman in a bunk bed or a grown woman in the air where there's a laundry room and all of that stuff, hey, you get what you get. That's it. So that's over with that, the girls' trip. That was a very short segment. Like, they could have made that segment even longer, but, they wanted to be messy about the groom and stuff. So now everybody else comes out and they were like, who do you think the surprise guest is? And then the See You Next Tuesday, the second messiest man, he says, oh, Melody's boyfriend. Shut up. Then Maurice, the third messiest man on the actual stage, he says, Wanda, because the chair is dark like her energy. Touche. And Tisha sat there and she ain't say not nary a word. Then he asked Melody, and she said, I think it's Lance, because the C is right next to Destiny. It could be Lance. So here come the not surprise guest. Stormi walks out. Didn't like her outfit neither. The whole thing it looked like she couldn't breathe. But her face looked good. Her hair looked good. She came out, it felt like she came out light, and she was like, hey, everybody. She got like, hey, y'all still at this job? How y'all doing? It was really giving that energy, but it was really, for me, it gave off very much fake. Like, I don't really like y'all, but I'm gonna come out here because, I'm me, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do to be on this stage. She was out on that stage for like 5 minutes. Again, this reunion was edited so crazy. We don't know what came first, what came last, what was in the middle. We don't know none of that. And of course, all the reunions are edited, but it feels like this one, even without Destiny's segment being cut off, right, or edited out, it still felt so discombobulated. It just felt weird. And the only thing that was of any substance in this whole entire thing is a tribute to Kiki that they did not air, maybe because of the family drama. Melody's face was kind of like, I don't know if she didn't want to cry or she didn't want to get involved. I don't know, but she looked very stoic, much like Meredith on Salt Lake City, and I don't know how to take that. Again, the show was edited, and I'm not trying to give her no grace, but it was weird that she shed a little tear, at the end. But again, the way that it was edited, where did she cry? How did, whatever. The only thing that really stood out to me with Stormi on the stage is when she said that she paid for Kiki's funeral. Now, this is where it gets kind of funky, because I don't really like real family stuff getting out there for everybody to look at and comment on. Like, it makes things even worse, right? Much like the Braxtons and all that mess that they're going through, it gets weird. Stormi, like, one part, Stormi's telling people that she paid for the funeral can be off-putting, because why? But then she was asked a question. So who was being messy, Carlos or Stormi? I feel like Stormi wholeheartedly cared for Kiki. And I think she did care for her because she had a family member that was an addict. And I think that's where it came from. So for me, I don't think Stormi was being messy. I think Carlos didn't really have to say anything about that, to be honest. It never really had to be said. Now, on the other part, Tisha and Destiny really didn't see it for each other. However, the fact that a stranger can get in contact with your cousin's husband and your cousin's husband don't even want to talk to you, your husband's brother, his sister-in-law. He don't want to talk to none of y'all. Would he have found, does Kiki's husband not want to, because I have not looked or searched for any videos that he has talked about. I'm sure there are some out there talking about Tisha and Marceau, right? And I think there was something out there is like he doesn't want anybody talking about Kiki on the show. Fine. I just feel like though Stormi got money, she probably got more money than all of them sitting down there, including Melody. Now, Melody got a little cute coin. But Stormi got money. And she had money before she came on this show. Now, she was losing her money. And she was like, let me hop on here since I be on here like that sometimes. And then that made her go up to the atmosphere, especially Kyle, even though they settled. Kyle, her CFO, settled that lawsuit that they had against each other. Sidebar. Anyways, to focus on the Scotts. The Scotts have been a toxic foursome since like season 3, but maybe even TV is season 7. I don't know. Whatever. The third time that the season premiered. And it just felt so, because the stuff with Kiowa, it was just thou protest too much with Kimmi for me. It kind of reminded me, like when Nell said I wasn't a side chick, and Nell was like, I didn't know he was married type of stuff. That wheelhouse, they're like the same in that point, right? And Kimmi has always been the voice of reason, but for whatever reason, she is going off on a tangent of, don't talk about me because you don't want nobody talking about you. I don't even want to be here for real. So don't try to check me because I'll come for you. That's her whole energy. Previously, she was like, I'm so happy to be here. How y'all doing? You know, me and Tisha, we're sister-in-laws, but we not that cool, but I'm going to try and make it cool. Not no more. Kimmi is like, the gloves are off. And you could tell because when Kimmi asked, when Destiny talked about the limo, how did you even know? Of course, this is the edited stuff that was edited out, guys. How did you even find out? You weren't even there. And that's when Tisha was like, oh, I told her. And Kimmi didn't have no type of emotion. She just sat there and was like, Like, I peeped that in that video. I peeped it. So it's kind of like the Scotts in general. What is really going on? Like, they could have a show on their own if they were being real, but they're never going to be real. So it's going to come off contrite and fake. I'm saying all of this is to say why the Scotts, if Maurice have so much emotion and affinity, I like that word. That's a new word that I'm using. You have an affinity for Kiki that you balling down the police. Not one of y'all could have went to that funeral home and said, even if that man said, I don't want to owe you. Listen, nothing can make that man want to talk to the Scotts, particularly Tisha and Marceau, right? Because I'm sure that the family and the husband may blame them for how Kiki looked on the TV. Blase, 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 blase. Right? But we cannot hold their loved ones that have passed on hostage if you know yourself that your financial situation isn't there. Now, we don't know if Tisha didn't offer. We don't know if Tisha didn't have it. We didn't know if she did offer and he refused. I just feel like there could have been so much more that could have been done instead of Stormi having to pay for a funeral. I think it's commendable that she paid for the funeral, but why did she have to pay for the funeral? Like, it really wasn't, I don't know. On Kiki's family side, it could be like, thank God someone from the outside came and helped because we needed it instead of family. I don't know. That's why I say like the family stuff is so tricky that we really will never know what's really going on. Now, Tisha said that all you have to do is pray for the kids. Maurice said, don't just pray, do for these kids. Are they doing? Like, I don't know, man. It bothered me the way that whole thing went down about Kiki, and the fact that they, own Carlos and them couldn't even air the memorial. So there's that. And that was the reunion, y'all. Did it deserve three parts? Absolutely not. Were they being messy? Was Carlos and his people being messy about trying to bring all of that stuff that Destiny said onto this reunion? Absolutely. And I don't want to say annoyed, mad, whatever. It's just weird that this is what made Melody say deuces. She should have been left. And I've said this before. She should have been left when that man lunged at her in Las Vegas. I would have left right then. I think her ego made her stay. To be wholeheartedly honest with you, I think her ego made her stay. And I think that at this point now she had to go through that to see that this is no longer serves me. It didn't serve her for a while. It didn't serve her for a while. And honestly, it didn't serve her from the beginning because that man was already cheating on her before the show even started. So there it is, the end. It's finally over. The torture chamber is open. We can now exit stage left. And there's so many think pieces out there about Carlos and the way that he treats his cast, his employees. There's a lot of think pieces out there with Marquez doing interviews. I tried to sit through that interview with Marquez, and I just couldn't do it. It all seems so yuck. That man needs some healing on his own. He needs to figure out what he needs to do to be in his kid's life other than be mad at Ken and Trisha. Marcel and Tisha skated through this whole season. Marcel really tried it when he tried to come for them at the day party, adult field day nonsense. Kimmi was really, a lot of people saying that she was giving pick me, but it seems as though, I don't know. I think Destiny was more pick me to Martell than Kimmi was to Maurice, because she really got activated with Mel and his DUI and all that situation, even though it got dismissed at this point, because remember the reunion was filmed in October and we are now February of 2025. I just feel like Kimmi just doesn't want to be bothered with this show anymore. I don't know what the reason is that she continues to do it. It has to be for Maurice, because it really feels like she don't want to be there. Like, she really was lobbing at Melody, because I feel like she probably stopped liking Melody after a certain point, which is fine. You can see people change because of money, because of fame, because of whatever that happened to them in their life. But I feel like they never really understood Melody, especially when it came. They should have just stayed out of it, to be honest with you. And then if they picked a side, they definitely should have picked Melody's side. That's all I have to say. But I keep saying the same thing, that they should have just picked Melody's side. No matter how you feel about Melody, that man had a whole baby. That's what I got to say about that. Destiny, we can definitely dust her away. Like, she is scrimping and scramping and squabbling to stay on this show. And it's evident with the things that she said, and then she want to take it back. You cannot say stuff like that and take it back. You can't. And then OWN and production and all them people that try to portray that stuff on the TV, it just proves what Mel said, that y'all trying to put her in the worst light possible. Because I don't really believe when, cast members say, oh, the edit makes me look bad, the edit makes me look bad. That's not really it. I mean, it can and it can't. Like, some of it, it's 50-50. Honestly, I feel like it's 50-50. The edit can make you look like a bad person, and you can also do bad things. That's it. Again, the torture chamber has opened. We can now exit stage left. And we could watch other things. He said that Love and Marriage, Carlos said that Love and Marriage Detroit is coming back. Chapter 25, I guess. I don't know. I don't watch that. I heard Love and Marriage DC coming back too. I don't know, child. It's a mess, but I'm glad that it's over. Well, on the TV anyway, because you know on the interwebs, they still going at it. And I'm surprised I ain't heard nothing about or from Miss Wanda. She probably did have a live somewhere, didn't she? She probably did. She probably did, didn't she? I ain't looking for it. Anyway, bye.